like lard.
Human by Death, their fourth album, their fourth release. This, it will kick you in the nuts.
Great track, Angel, by the way.
Yes, this will kick you in the nuts. So we have.
Whoa!
What?
Can't be sexist.
All right, it'll kick you in the face.
There you go.
This will kick you in the face. Here it is. This is more technical, This is leaning more on the death side. This is where they're starting to really transform into actual death metal. So here it is, Human. This album is. When did this come out, Isaac?
That is for you to guess.
92. Got moved up.
91.
Oh my gosh, the camera's falling. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, I think we're good.
All right,
All right.
yeah.
Anyways,
So it came out 91 of October 22nd.
91 of October 22nd. All right. So this album has gotten way more technical. This is where they start to get really technical. From here on, Death gets very technical with their music. Every note is precise. It's doing what it needs to do at the exact time. It's really technical. This is when they start getting a little tech deathy. But the intro that you just heard, by the way, was actually the opener of this album. First track, Flattening of Emotions. I really liked it. That was good drumming.
It's very good drummer.
Which, by the way, who's the drummer on this one, Isaac?
The drummer is... Hold on. What is the drummer? That is a very good
All right,
question.
he's gonna get the drummer. I don't know the drummer on this one actually. But anyways, what was I gonna say here? Oh yeah, lyrics have gotten a little more perspective of life, and they're weird. They're weird lyrics. I kind of don't fully understand these lyrics, but they're definitely talking about life and different things.
The drummer is Sean Reinert.
All right, there it is.
Reinert.
Reinert, however you say his name.
Yeah.
Whatever, he killed it right there in the introduction. All right, so let's dive right into it. So there's Flattening of Emotions. You heard the introduction. It gets really technical. I want to show you a little bit on how technical this album can be. And I'm going to do that by sampling to you guys something off of the third track, Together as One, which is one of my favorite songs off of this album. I mean, spoiler alert, they're kind of all my favorite songs on. But yeah, take a listen to this part. Sorry. Take a listen to this part to Together as One. Cue it.
Alright, that's good. Good. Yeah.
All right. So there it is for you. The chorus to Together as One. I believe it's talking about two Siamese twins, two people that are like together as one, but they're still different beings. Really interesting lyrics again.
Doesn't make sense, but makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, but it does. Anyways, you could hear how technical that was. The drum work, the guitar, the rhythm was there. This is where they're starting to combine everything that they've done so far in their career into one. You know, Scream Bloody Gore was really thrashy, screaming and all that kind of stuff. Leprosy was also really thrashy, a lot of guitar riffing going on. Then you had Spiritual Healing, which is really lower, dark, heavier, even doomier, and it was more of a groove and more beat driven. All of that is coming together into this album, really, everything that they've learned so far. Chuck's vocals are still on the lower side, not as low as they were in Spiritual Healing, but they're still low, guttural, and I actually like his vocals really well on this album. My favorite that his vocals ever were on Spiritual Healing, this album, and the next one, the one that's after this one. I'm blanking out on it. Help me out here, Isaac. Individual Thought Patterns.
Why can you not remember your death album?
I don't know. I'm blanking out on them today. But anyways, you can hear how they're getting a little more technical, how they're developing as a band. Let's get into the next sample that I want to show you guys, which is Lack of Comprehension. Here's the introduction, and this will show you the diversity of where they go on this album. They start to take a lot of turns, a little more. It's not necessarily progressive, but there's more. There's a lot of dimensions to the song. Each song is structured in a really unique way and takes different turns. But yeah, here it is. Here's the intro to Lack of Comprehension.
I think he's meditating.
All right, got it.
A little late on that.
So there's that for you. Yeah, there's the introduction to that Lack of Comprehension. As you can tell, they're capable of doing a lot on this album. Now that does do a lot more. Isaac, what did you think of this album so far?
It is a pretty technical album. If you ask me, a little bit too technical, but still, it's still just fine. It's just fine, but a little bit too technical. That's the only problem. A little bit too technical.
Okay, all right. I personally really love how the album is so far at this point. And by the way, we're at the midpoint, in the middle of the album here. Track 5, Lack of Comprehension, where you just heard the introduction. Now I want to show you where the song actually goes. This is the same song that I'm showing you, where you just heard the introduction. But take a listen to where it goes now. Go ahead and hit it. Alright, go ahead. Alright, so yeah, they're real deathy, real heavy, gritty. This is also, I think, the grittiest that they've ever gone. They're back to the raw sound.
Yeah.
It's not as raw as the other two albums, but it's raw. They're back to the raw sound. They went away from the polishedness that Spiritual Healing had. Personally, that's another one of my favorite songs off of this track. This is also a single, Lack of Comprehension. So there's that for you. And then that's all I got for samples to show you. I mean, in track 7, you get Cosmic Sea, which is so good. It's a really diverse instrumental where they start doing, and they do a lot with it. I mean, they start out real slow, kind of like what we showed you with the intro to Lack of Comprehension. But they start out real kind of slow, doing their own thing. They fade in, and it starts with a rhythm, and then it changes it up, does something else, and then it starts progressing and going into like this ambient, almost kind of like alien sounds for a while. I think for like a whole minute or so. Then it starts to get back in to a real death metal riff. You know, the
more
drummers,
progressive.
Yeah, the drummer's kicking off, and it's a really progressive song, and it shows you what they're capable of doing and the dynamics of what they've learned so far. You're getting to see how this band is starting to grow, and it's looking real positive at this point in their career. I really like that song. That's one of my favorite songs to jam out to, is Cosmic Sea. I love that song. I don't know about you, Isaac. How do you feel about that song?
It actually was not too much of technical. It was just the right amount of
Technicality.
Technicality. It was just the right amount of technicality. So it was just the right amount of technicality, but it had that same feel of prog metal, and that's what I like about it. It was very heavy. It was very raw. Everything was equaled out.
Yeah.
On that part.
Yeah. Then we got Vacant Planets, and in my opinion, I don't like the song Vacant Planets. I don't know why. I don't. I just can't get into it. There's nothing as unique there. It's still a decent song. Like if let's say that was the only song Death produced, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's a good song. I really like it. But I mean, compared to everything else they've done, I always skip over that song on this album. Then lastly they close with a well, it says bonus track. I have the reissue. I don't know if this was on the original, but it's the God of Thunder. The cover, they did a cover of Kiss's God of Thunder, which they did a great job at it. I like it. It's pretty funny actually because I don't know. It's like a death metal Kiss. I really enjoyed it. But there it is for you in a nutshell. Human by Death. Personally, this is one of my this used to be my favorite Death album when I first got into Death. Then the more I got to listen to them and their whole discography and what they're able to do, you know, Spiritual Healing became my second favorite, and my first, we're gonna save that for when we get to that one. But yep, there it is for you. I'm sorry, Human. What did you think of this, Isaac? Final thoughts?
It was okay. So they took all the experience that they had and all the recommendations of fans from, because
they took the criticism from Spiritual Healing.
They took the criticism from Spiritual
Yeah.
Healing. They took the experience that they had from Spiritual Healing and Leprosy and Scream Bloody Gore.
And really put it together.
Yeah,
It's
they
all
put it
coming
all
together in this album.
Yeah, but they put it all together. They served it raw, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It was pretty raw,
pretty
very
clean.
very
It's
progressive.
surprisingly easy on the ears for how heavy
Yeah.
and technical this is.
It was,
It's smooth. This is smooth. This is like good liquor, I guess. Where liquor isn't always the easiest thing on the body, but when you get some good ones, it's just smooth and it doesn't make sense. It's what this is. This is smooth death metal. Very hard
Okay.
to come around and find. How many out of 5? How many I guess carcasses would you give this one? I would give this 4. A solid 4 with Leprosy.
ooh, I'd probably give this a 3.
A 3, okay.
A 3. It's very good, but
It's
in
a
some
little
points,
average. It's a little average.
yeah, some points
okay.
it got a little bit too technical. It would have been a 4,
too samey
but
same. I think you're trying to say it's too samey,
yeah.
maybe.
Okay, sometimes it went a little bit overboard, but then
Okay.
but then it calmed back down. They understood what they were doing, and then
All right.
Yeah.
So there it is. He gives you a 3. I give this a 4. A solid 4. This is a great album. Do I recommend it? I recommend this to anyone who's into death metal. Isaac?
I recommend it for.
If you're into death metal, this is a must
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
a must listen, I think.
I agree with
If
him.
you're into death metal.
If you're into death metal, I recommend it. I recommend it for you.
So there it is. Human, go check it out if you haven't. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for hanging around.